Yesterday, for the first time since Federation, and at the Prime Minister's direction, the government voted down a referral to the Privileges Committee, given precedence by the Speaker. Why is the Prime Minister running a protection racket for the member for Pearce?
Page 771 of practice makes things very clear.
Members on my left.
That the opinion by the Speaker, and I quote, does not imply a conclusion that a breach of privilege or a contempt has occurred, or even that the matter should necessarily be investigated, Mr Speaker. That's what the practice
You probably aren't familiar with page 771 of the House of Representatives practice and the rules behind the dramatic scenes in Parliament late yesterday involving the ongoing controversy about secret donations of up to $1 million to former Attorney General Christian Porter. But what does this obscure-sounding process actually mean, and what happens next? Under the Westminster system, a Parliament's Privileges Committee polices breaches of the special legal privileges granted to MPs.
Honourable members, the Speaker.
In Australia, it also oversees the Register of Members' Interests, which requires members to declare any conflicts of interest with a member's public duties, which could foreseeably arise or be seen to arise. On September 13, Christian Porter announced he had updated his Register of Interests, revealing a blind trust had paid part of the fees for his now discontinued defamation case against the ABC.
I mean, this is the same as somebody in a mask walking into Mr Porter's office and delivering a chaff bag full of cash.
The secret donations created two problems. The first was whether it put the former Attorney General in breach of the Statement of Ministerial Standards, which says they must not come under any financial or other obligation which may appear to improperly influence their official duties as Minister. 5 days later, the PM said Mr Porter was unable to conclusively rule out a perceived conflict of interest and had chosen to resign from the ministry. But it still left the question of whether Mr Porter was in breach of the disclosure requirements for the Register of Interests and therefore a breach of privilege.
The matter concerns the member for Pearce and whether his failure to comply with the resolution of the House regarding the registration of members' interests constitutes a contempt of the Parliament.
Based on my careful consideration of all of the information available to me, I am satisfied that a prima facie case has been made out.
Mr Speaker, the government is not going to support the motion that's before the House.
Instead, Mr Dutton has written to the Privileges Committee asking for a general clarification of the rules covering donations to MPs' legal costs, though most question the government assertion that there are any similar cases to Mr Porter's.
And so what we've referred to the Privileges Committee is to ensure that they can get some clear rules and when politicians are defamed and how they can actually defend themselves.
The problem for Mr Porter and the government is that it is not only the House that can refer matters to the Privileges Committee. Individual MPs can also do so, and several have already raised the Porter matter. The Privileges Committee held a regular meeting last night and considered Mr Dutton's letter and has sought advice from the clerk on it.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 7:30's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.